And then, welcome back. Here's a brief overview of where we're at right now. This is Pathfinder Splodey Totem dot build. Not, I mean, it has a good dot to it, but it does still have that hit component to it because we're not scaling the dot only. It is the Splodey Totem. It is as broken as can be. We already seen all the builds out there, but this is just how broken it is. You can run this on a 4-link. I don't even have a second 6-link going. This is just my Defiance banner. I literally am running Petrified Blood, Purity of Elements, and Grace. All 3 elemental flasks. One with movement speed. I'm not even getting this leech. These are terribly rolled. I could do a lot better. This is fine. Avoid being stunned. I take Brine King anyway, so it's not even that big a deal, and I have almost 100% stun recovery, so it's really not that big a deal. Eventually we will be going to the stun tech, which we'll talk about in a later video. For those who don't know, there's a new jewel that basically you recover life on stun, and there's a lot of shenanigans you can play with basically being perma-stunned and getting a lot of benefits from that for another time. And then finally, my Quicksilver Flask, just for quality of life. You definitely want that movement speed. Reduce effective curse. Yeah, it's no big deal. That's what I run. And then the big hero here is this perfectly rolled Concentrated Divine Life Flask of Sealing. This is the Big Daddy. It could be a little better. It could be a 28%. And it could have a slightly higher roll on the recovery. I think it gets up to like 5,100, 5,200 or something like that. But this is pretty dang good. And it gives me Corrupting Blood immunity. So for those of you who don't know, the new Pathfinder has the life flasks are basically now enduring life flasks from the Master Surgeon notable. They're no longer removed when unreserved life is filled. So as you see here, I have about a 6.5 to close to 7-second uptime on that flask, paired with some really juicy nodes like Profane Chemistry and a couple others to really boost up the life recovery from the flask itself applied to you. Our regen is looking pretty nifty, and we're also using Petrified Blood to protect the bottom half of our life pool. Showed another video, and then there was also one on my live that shows me taking down Searing Exart. I will be doing the Uber Pinnacles on this build very shortly. I might even do it on a 4-link just to prove how stupid this is. It really doesn't matter. Once you hit dot cap, you're there. There's no really a reason to push it. You don't need to waste the currency on crafting those plus bows. Like, I don't really think there's a need to. Like, if it's in the back of your head and it's going to itch your brain to know that you did everything to make a skill as powerful as it possibly could be because you're OCD, then by all means, get it done. But if I know that my damage is hitting a cap and I can't go any higher, then I'm just going to invest everything else into defense. So, yeah. But anyway, that's what our setup is. We're getting a lot of flask effect, a lot of flask duration. My elemental flasks do not fall off. You can see there that I am res capped. I'm not over. I don't have max reses. I'm just regular res capped. Chaos as well. Due to the fact that I'm running a Ming's Heart, which is a mid-tier roll that I catalyst up to 61%. Good enough for me. Honestly, don't even need the Ming's Heart. This is probably a wasted slot, and I could just use them more life. Who knows? I really don't think you need the Ming's Heart even for this build, but here we go. Nonetheless, I'm still wearing it. It's kind of cool, to have 4,200 life with or 4,300 life with a Ming's Heart on. here we go with the Cosprey's Will. The reason I'm using this is just for the free extra curse, hexproof enemies, and I'm always poisoning because I curse on hit. So, and it does work. It works very well. You don't need to self-curse at all. Your totems will do the cursing for you. They hit so much, so frequently, because they're constantly spawning and dying, that you will have permanent curses up. Therefore, Cosprey's Will give you a 100% chance to poison. You don't need to spec any poison on the tree, and you can drop the Herald of Agony. The reason why we do that is so we can run Petrified Blood, and we run Purity of Elements to cap off our resistances and give us elemental ailment immunity with a grace, because you know what, we are evasion based. We don't want to get hit a lot. When we do get hit, we have a cast when damage taken setup. This is an optional slot. I'm just experimenting right now. I threw in a Void Sphere. It's probably not the best. Enemies hindered. Everything gets deleted so fast. It's like, what do you put in here? I don't know. I'm going to mess around, figure out what I can do as my secondary setup, because I really don't have it figured out. I don't know. There could be some shenanigans to do with like cast and stun, because I'm going to be going into the stun direction. So I'm going to be looking into that. But this is the cast and damage taken setup. It's cast and damage taken, Immortal Call with increased duration. Once I start getting endurance charges into the build, it'll be a lot better. For now, we don't have the endurance charges. And then, of course, the Asinus Gentle Touch. Big ticket item. This is probably, this and the Diadem are the big ticket items on this build. Not necessary in the slightest. Matter of fact, with a poison, or with a Pathfinder setup, you can run 2 curse rings, the unique curse rings that socketed gems curse on hit. That's all it does. I just can't remember the name for the life of me. But it's a very common 1C unique. Anyone can buy it. You could run 2 of those. Don't need a Cosprey's Will. You don't need the Asinus Gentle Touch. You don't need the Devouring Diadem. I had those because they were part of my Tornado Shot setup that I was using, that I'm not using anymore because of this bow that I got for fairly cheap. It was 1 divine. The only thing it has on it is the tree, with the main thing that we're running here, which is obviously the totems explode on death, dealing 600% of their life as physical damage. The best thing you can get as a secondary node is the 70% chance to spawn 2 totems. I mentioned it earlier. That paired with the mastery node for this 30% chance will basically give you 100% chance to spawn 2 totems instead of 1, effectively doubling the instant damage. And I'm telling you right now, it is not even necessary. Not in the slightest. It's not. Go ahead and check out my other videos. The same gear I'm running. I'll put more content out earlier, or I put a little bit more content out later. I want to do a series where I'm just running stuff on a 4-link. See how far a 4-link can take you on this. Just to play around with it. Why not? It's shenanigans league. That's how I feel. But yeah, everybody, any questions, let me know. Have a good time out there. Peace, peace.